Alright guys, welcome to a night vlog. This is another test of the GoPro Hero2 in low light at nighttime. See how it performs. I know I really haven't been vlogging. Well, you know, I wasn't out riding my bike much. It was winter time, and then it got warm pretty early this year. It got warm around February, actually. I was out riding my bike a few times, but then cold snap hit again, and I was out of commission. Well, I wasn't out of commission, I just wasn't riding. But now, warm weather seems to be back, and I've finished all the mods on my bike. So that's what this video is going to be about what I did to my bike over the winter months to make it better. You guys might be able to hear one difference already. The baffles are out of my exhaust. Now, for those of you that don't know, I have a Ducati Sport Classic GT1000, which is it's a series that Ducati made maybe, I think, starting in 2006, of these retro looking bikes. They're kind of supposed to be the same thing as the you know, the Triumph Scrambler and Bonneville, modern bikes that look retro. So these were kind of their homage to their old GT750, and they made a few other models like the Paul Smarter Edition or whatever, which were tributes to their old race bikes. I have the GT, which is the sort of the comfortable UJM sort of version of the bikes. The other bikes have clip-ons and better suspensions and all that. They're supposed to be a little bit more sporty, but I had the old man comfort version, so I wasn't really super happy with it. Now, when I bought the bike, it already had magnesium wheels on it in replacement in place of the old you know, spoked wire wheels, which were super heavy. So putting the lighter rims on the bike shaves like 20 or 25 pounds of unsprung weight off this thing. Well, I really hope the fucking microphone is working. God, this bus is retarded. Anyway, I should have probably checked the microphone before I left. I hope it's working. Anyway, I'm going to continue talking. So the bike already had the wheels from a Ducati 999. Actually, I'm not sure if they're mag or they're cast. Whatever they are, they're lighter than the wire spoke wheels that came with this bike. Now the wire spoke wheels look a lot better, but you know, 25 pounds unsprung weight, that's a lot. So that's how I got the bike. Oh, somebody ran a light. Anyway, they made the bike a lot lighter, but I still wasn't quite happy because the suspension was super budget. Like, it came with completely unadjustable forks, and the rear shocks were only adjustable for preload. And I am way too fucking heavy for both ends. I think the suspension is designed for like a 170 pound, maybe 160 pound guy. I'm 210. So, you know, I was riding around with this thing basically squatted. I mean, I could add preload to the rear, but then it would just push too much weight to the front, and it would make it track weird. So I left it alone. I just got used to riding it with the rear just basically squatted, and it wasn't bad. It just made the front wheel a little light, and you know, it would kind of lose grip in the middle of turns sometimes, and make the front end twitch and scare me a little bit. So this winter, I decided to do some mods and tune up the suspension. So the first thing I did was I got myself a set of forks. Now the lucky thing is, the diameter and the length of the forks on this bike is the same as a lot of other Ducati bikes. So I found a set of Ducati Monster S4R forks on eBay. They were fairly cheap, and they drop right in place, and they're, you know, three-way adjustable. Their Showas, I believe, is what the Monsters have on them. So that was the first thing I did, and you know, that helped a lot. But without the rear being in proper position, it wasn't gonna fix all the woes. So I ordered a set of custom shocks from a company called YSS, which I found out about from reading the Sport Classic forums on a Ducati website. And you know, these guys, they just ask for my weight, the type of riding I'm doing, and they build me a custom shock. Well, 2 shocks, because this is a dual shock setup in the back, you know, for the retro look. Slapped those puppies in, spent a couple of days tuning it, you know, getting the settings right, which was the weird part. So even though I ordered the springs for my weight, I still had to add on a bunch of preload to get the bike to feel right. Is this where I'm going? Yeah. Because even with the new shocks and the new forks in the front, it still wasn't feeling quite right. And then I kind of did some measurements and, you know, tried setting the sag and all that, and it turned out I needed to add a bunch of preload. But you know, I've added that preload and now the bike feels amazing. So that was the suspension work I had done. The next thing I did was I took the rear fender off. I'll try to see if I can splice in some pictures of what I did into the video. Hopefully you guys can hear me over all this construction equipment. So the mod I got is, I think it's called the Fleta light. It's basically, if you guys have seen the movie, the Neutron movie, the Ducati that kid is riding in the very beginning of it, it has a really cool tail light. Well, this is the tail light that was in the movie, and I guess the guy who made it or whatever started selling it. It's a LED strip basically, and the LEDs on the corners act as indicators and also brake lights when I'm using it for brakes. Grab this guy real quick. Yeah, we're on Constitution Avenue. I don't know if you guys can tell in the dark or not, but you know, the White House is to my right and the monument's to my left. So that was the other thing I added, was the Fleta tail light. And you know, I think it really adds a lot to the looks of the bike. Now I get some rocks flung up onto the back seat because I don't have a fender back there anymore, but you know, I think it looks pretty bitchin'. Hopefully you guys will agree. I think I already mentioned that I took the baffles out of here, and I got some sporty tires. The thing came with some classic look tires. They were, I think it was a 180 or 170. I don't know. I went up one size on the rear tire, and I got Michelin Pilot Sports, and on the front I got the Michelin dual compound sport version or whatever. You know, a sticky front tire is important. Well, so do anything else? I'm trying to remember. Oh, future mods. So the next thing I really want to do is I want to take care of this headlight, because this headlight is pretty weak. And especially if you go riding at night, it's, you know, it's next to useless basically out in the country. In the city it doesn't really matter, but if you're out riding late, it's pretty useless. So I have tracked down what I want. Basically it's a LED light. It's a full LED setup. It's got 2 projectors in it. You know, it's not xenon, or it's not one of those cheap xenon bulb upgrades where you just add the bulb and the ballast, because those never really work. You need a projector beam housing for that thing to really actually be effective. But this is a professional, you know, factory-made LED headlight. They're actually made for Harleys. Harleys, you can apparently buy LED upgrades for your Harley from a Harley dealer, and also for Zero Motorcycles, the electric motorcycle company, which makes sense why they would use it, because, you know, LEDs are super low draw on the battery. The only problem being that this headlight is $750. Yeah. So, you know, you probably guess as to why I haven't ordered it yet. What is this guy doing? Jesus Christ, man. Alright. So that's probably going to be my next mod, if I can, you know, convince myself that it's not a completely ridiculous and stupid move to buy a $750 headlight. Because I think it would match the futuristic looking tail mod I did. I think it would be cool to have a futuristic looking headlight, and it would kind of contrast the classic looks of the bike. You know, make it something a little bit unique. Lots of other people have retro bikes these days, so, you know, I want to go for something a little bit different. Hopefully this microphone I'm using on the GoPro is good enough that you guys can hear me at highway speeds. So I think I'm going to probably get the LED headlight. And I don't know, I'm going to keep the original turn signals. They look really cool. They're big, but you know, they're classic looking and they have chrome on them and stuff, so I'm probably going to keep those. Wow, just wow. Yep, DC drivers. But it was really important for this guy to get into the left lane, because God knows, he couldn't have stayed in the right. The exhaust sounds really good without the baffles in, especially in the tunnel. It's a little loud, and I'm pretty sure if I got pulled over, a cop would notice that it's not legal or whatever, but you know, I haven't really had cops hassle me about any of that stuff yet, so I'm just going to let it roll. That's about it for the bike. So I got the suspension completely taken care of. The bike handles amazing now. It's still not a sport bike, like, I'm not going to go drag a knee on this. Oh, maybe I could now. I haven't really tried yet since last summer. I'll check it out when I go into the mountains next again. So I got the tail light, I got the exhaust baffles out, new tires. I'm probably going to slap on the LED. So, and that's about it. And this has been a night vlog. Hopefully this video isn't just a bunch of shapes moving around in the dark, and you can actually see where I was going. Alright, well, I'm going to be vlogging again now that it's summertime and I'm out riding my bike a lot more. I will smell you guys later.